Hey guys, welcome to another car chat pulling slash tech while driving. The good
Yeah.
thing about this talk, I was saying in the previous video that I love doing this talk on the car because we're getting productive while driving, which is I wouldn't recommend to you guys to, but in this case I'm not driving, so I can record. So today we have an interesting meeting, right? So we love these girls. They are amazing, and they're doing great stuff. You should check it out. It's a Hive Innovation. Definitely, I recommend that. I'll post the link on the description. These girls are doing an amazing job. You should check it out. And but out of that conversation, we wanted to take something that maybe a lot of you guys have in terms of like the question of like how should I start an MVP? How should I start a project, right? And let's say I'm gonna give you a scenario he told me, and he told me back here she's driving today, so that's good. I'm on the other side. But the question that I have for you as a product owner that you are, because you have experience having that role. So what should I do? Let's say I have an idea for an app. What should I do first, or what would be the steps that you recommend for me to do to get that idea and at least in an MVP stage? Let's say that I want to get something so I can pitch to an investor or whatever. What is the best approach that you would recommend that I should take where I can get the best value out of it? You know, maybe not having to invest much money, or at least a reasonable amount of money for me to get started.
Yeah, great question. So of course, when you want to build something, you want to build something because you identify problems in the market, right? So you identify the problems first, and then, that you have to like do it in iteration. Maybe you really go down to deep and then of course you need to come up with a solution. How can I solve the problem?
Okay.
And then who this is for, right? And how about the market? If the market is really tiny, like, then there's no business opportunity, right?
Okay.
So you have to do all the homework first, and then make sure that okay, my idea is kind of valid. You have to do all the like interviews, testing, make sure your product is going to sell, right? You need to know that information, and then what you can do is, instead of actually jump into building things, you identify, okay, I have all these ideas, how the user is going to use the product. So you identify kind of user requirements, right? And the flow, you identify all that. And then before you actually start coding and developing, you can even use, start creating like UI, designs, wireframe first, and then design. And then from there you start developing, so you don't have to spend like thousands of dollars just developing and realize that whoops, I didn't need these steps, or I didn't need these features. So that's what I recommend. Of course, the first you need to do all the homework, do the research, and then after all the thing is done, do the user, the flow, and then make the pretty screens and stuff. But you don't really need to start developing if you have the idea and then start working on MVP.
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense, because the thing is like no, to be honest, even if let's say I'm really picky, right, and I want to make sure that all my workflow works really well. So from the developer point of view, once I start coding, I'm gonna put my developer hat. Once I start coding, I'm trying to get the less amount of blocker possible. So I don't want to be into like, whoa, no, this is not gonna be a blue bar. Now it's gonna be a green, a rectangle. So I cannot. It's gonna be hard stuff for me, right? So I know that in agile, and I know that every company is now claiming to work in agile mode, and then you can do a lot of like changes on the fly, and that's true. But let's face it, not every company is doing agile, like true agile. They're using like an agile each, and I want to have the less blocker possible. So it makes sense what you said, that like make sure that you have all your requirements, make sure that you have all your user flows, and once you have that, start with the UI first. At least on the app cases, when you're developing apps, it's all visual. I know that you have a backend and you have all those stuff, but the visual part, it dictates a lot, because based on that you can define in the backend what you should be coding, right? So I'm glad that you find that. And now pretty sure that these all these people now have a following question, which I have now. So it takes a lot of time to do that. All that housekeeping about collecting information, validating your idea, getting your requirements in place, then having the user flows and designing the UI. Will that take too long?
I don't think so. Actually, coding takes a little bit longer, right? Well, it takes, of course, researching, it takes effort. You can't do it in one afternoon. But think about it. If you spend thousands of dollars developing things and you have to do it from scratch because your assumption was wrong, that takes time, right?
Okay.
So I will say, if you didn't do much homework and jump into software development, and then I think that'll take a little bit longer than do the homework first and then start actually working on a easier side, like do the wireframe and the UI side. I think that it's a little more, efficient way to develop MVP.
So basically you're saying that if I spend the first couple, like let's say 2 to 4 weeks doing all this pre-work, it will save me more time in the long run rather than just getting myself ahead and jumping into coding and trying to get something out there soon. That might take me, it might make me waste more time in the long run because I didn't have all this pre-work. That's what kind of you're saying.
Correct. But again, creating product it's not just to create a product and done. You have to test the market and then make changes, right? And then software is a living, breathing thing.
Yep.
But MVP, you have to start from somewhere. So you have to have assumptions and start working on it. So if you do the homework, you will have less work in the future, I will say.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think we can call it for now. I think we provide a lot of information, and guys, if you have more questions about this, just leave it on the comment below, and Hitomi and I are more than happy to continue the conversation. I think this is a really important topic, and I'm glad that it came up from this conversation, so we can actually share this information with you guys. We're gonna keep doing this every time that we find something really interesting that we can share with you. We definitely will do it, right?
Yeah.
I love this car shot pulling. All right, guys, please don't forget to follow us on every social media. We have YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. I know my marketing guy will hate me because I sometimes don't remember all the ones that we have. All right, so please follow us, and we'll keep you posted, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.